those with whom we share the world. Therefore, the value of the same commodity at different periods of time. Just remember, gratitude, appreciation, and consideration. Which one of these will you carry? And this has been a Spaz of Realness here on KWDC 93.5 FM, the voice of Stockton.
You're listening to KWDC Women Innovators Network.
Yes, and good afternoon. This is Wanda, making a difference. Yes, I am the host today. And can you imagine? I'm all by myself. Oh well. I can handle it. I can handle it, okay? So just be patient. That's something I've learned this week, really learned this week. How to be successful in being patient. That's really not what I learned, but that is part of being successful in different areas of your life. So, yes, but I am the producer of Women Innovators Network, and I am speaking to you live from Studio G on the Delta College campus. We are in the discussion this past week, and actually today is Friday, so this will end our discussion this week on being successful or how to be successful. And if you've been a listener each and every day, you've probably heard some of the research that has been done on being successful or how to be successful. Tuesday, we had a special guest down from Southern California. Actually, she wasn't here. They piped her in through the landline phone, and she was able to share her experiences with us in regards to her successful endeavor with being on the show, Survivor. Almost couldn't think about what was the name of the show. But anyway, so she was really very inspirational and motivated quite a few of us. And I hope that you were able to hear that and was also inspired by her testimony or her actual experience in being on that show. Just to maybe give you a couple of highlights of that. I wish I would have probably kind of put it on the air again, but maybe we'll do that at some other time. But pretty much is how she had this dream or desire to be a part of that show called The Survivors. And I don't know if you're familiar with it. I'm not real familiar, but I know it's about surviving, okay? Surviving incidents, surviving, I don't know, I think I see them mountain climbing and doing a lot of different things as they survive certain situations, some of them pretty dangerous situations as far as I know. But like I said, it's been some time since I actually watched that show. But anyway, like I said, her biggest achievement was the fact that they finally called her after 8 years. 8 years is a long time to wait on a dream or a vision that you've had. But, if you're determined that it's going to happen, I guess 8 years is really not a long time. But she did not give up. Actually, she just kept applying and applying and applying until finally one day she got that call. So that is to say that whatever you may feel like you want to do in life, or you have a dream or a vision and you want to be successful at it, just learn how to be patient, learn how to do all the steps that is necessary to achieve that goal. So again, like I said, we have been discussing things this week that are pointed and directed mostly to being successful. I will give you the definition that I have obtained off of the internet as far as defining success. And it says that the achievement of something desired, planned, or attempted. It doesn't specify what that something should be. Yet the association of success with money is so intricate to Western culture perception of the term that it's difficult, if not impossible, for any of us not to be at least somewhat influenced by it. And of course, yesterday, those of you that might have listened to the show, we definitely had a great debate with Meryl and myself on the fact of money not being associated with being successful. In other words, you say just because you have money, that doesn't mean you're successful. Well, like I said, I differed with her, but we won't get into that discussion today because I have nobody to fight with today. Okay, but anyway, also too, we had Tony on the show too, and she kind of shared not only with talking about success, but she shared with her experimental project that she's working on, and we still kind of help to support her in her endeavors. Also, in the order of talking about success, in order to be successful, you must first master the most important relationships in your life, and that's the one you have with yourself. So being aware of your own strengths and weaknesses is crucial to becoming successful. When you're in tune with your actions and their effects on other people and can judge situations appropriately, you appear as calm, controlled, and in charge of all signs of being a successful woman. So, it shouldn't be a stressful situation. This is basically telling us you can just be calm. That being calm, to me, makes me think about being confident. In other words, whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm trying to achieve in life or at this present moment, that I have confidence within myself and my abilities to be able to succeed in whatever endeavors that I pursue. So also being self-aware is a process of growth, of being an independent person, of which I am very independent, pretty much have been all my life, because of the fact that there was many times I couldn't depend on anybody. So I had to be independent. You know what that means, right? So, like I said, being self-aware is a process of growth of being an independent person, or of learning who you are and what you want from life is the real secret of life, happiness, and success. So, those are just kind of tidbits of information that I wanted to share with you. And yesterday I said that I'm going to go over some of the reasons why people don't succeed. And the biggest reason why people don't succeed is a lot of people aren't seizing the opportunity for success because they don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they can succeed, okay? Going back to that not being confident or being confident of yourself. Even if they could do something that would make them successful, they don't believe they can do it. And a lot of people aren't seizing opportunities for success because they don't believe they can succeed. Even if they could do something that would make them successful, they don't believe they can do it. I just keep repeating that. I don't know why, but maybe there's a reason why, okay? Always a reason why. And other thing is that self-timing or self-limiting belief is enough to stop them from taking those critical first steps for success. So, another reason why a lot of people are not aware that there's greatness in them. Sometimes people don't really realize how much ability and skills that they have and don't realize the greatness that's in them. They really haven't searched themselves. Sometimes we need to take an assessment test of our abilities and our skills, and maybe that will help us to realize some of the greatness that's in us. And then there's others that don't believe that they can unleash that greatness in them, But it takes understanding knowledge to be able to do this. In other words, you need to be in the atmosphere of people that will help you to bring out this type of greatness that's in you. And I don't know why. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't know why I keep going to scriptures when I talk about this, because I'm finding out a lot about me. There's certain things that's in me that's going to come out of me, okay? So in other words, when I go and I talk about what the scripture says or what the Bible said, because that's just something that's in me, because that's the word that I probably have grown up on and lived with, okay? But anyway, going back to the reason why I'm going to use the scripture is because of the statement that I just said. Here's why. A lot of people are not aware that there's greatness in them. I believe it was in, and I'm not sure the chapter or the verse or whatever, but there is a scripture that Paul is talking to Timothy, and he tells him to stir up the gift that's within you. So that's what I'm saying to you. There are gifts within all of us, but it needs to be stirred up. It needs to be cultivated. It needs to be, addressed, in other words. So how can you do that? Well, I think we do that because we listen to programs like this, or we listen to people that are talking about being successful. But there's a lot of times that we don't know how to become successful. So you don't know until you're either taught or you heard something or you read something, and that is what helps to stir up the gift that's within you. And like, again, I said that there's people that believe that they may know, okay, there's greatness, but how do you release it? How do you unleash it? Okay, they don't believe that anyone would want the value that they have to offer. In other words, it's kind of like, well, I guess I've been there too. I was going to say, maybe you think that people don't want to hear what you have to say. Okay, and maybe you have a lot to say, but for some reason or another in your lifetime, you've been talking to people or saying something, and they have this response look on their face like they really don't want to hear what you got to say. So you finally end up shutting down because you say, well, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. But you have to get rid of that. You'd have to say, regardless of that, because somebody does want to hear what you have to say. Like we being on the radio right now. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to hear what I have to say, because if you're listening, obviously you want to hear it, right? Right. Okay, so don't let that be a block or a stop for you. In other words, whatever you have that's in you, you need to release it. Get it out, okay? Another said that the other area says they don't believe that they're worth very much. Okay, you are worthy. Yes, you are worthy of anything, okay? Nobody is better than you, okay? You are the best, and you are great, and you have greatness in you. So with that, we're going to go to the next level of our discussion.
Hey,
and
how
we'll
you
do
doing,
that
everybody?
after the break.
Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to KWDC Women Innovators Network.
Okay, and we are back, and we're still talking about being successful. And I was talking about why sometimes people don't believe or feel like they can be successful. And the other thing that I wanted to say in regards to that is that sometimes they don't believe in their self-worth is because they've been programmed to believe that. You know, and it's sad to say, I've heard, you know, kids like growing up and, you know, either their parents or somebody telling them that, you know, you don't know how to do that, or you can't do that, or you're not either good enough or whatever, you know. And usually when a person says that to somebody, I believe that because the person that's telling them may feel like they don't have the confidence to be that, so they think that that person can't be that either, okay? I don't know if that's always the reason, but, you know, that could be something that a person, you know, could live with for the rest of their life. That the reason that they don't feel like they're worthy of anything is because they have been programmed to believe that. And they've been programmed to believe that they're not worth much. They've been programmed to believe that they have to stay mediocre all their lives. In other words, same old, day in, day out. You know, that would be very boring for me. And they've been programmed to believe that they can't buy the big house or the Ferrari because someone else said so. That is not true. You know, you can't live on somebody else's beliefs or somebody else's standards. If you feel like you want to buy a big house, then you do what is necessary to do to buy that big house. If you feel like you want to buy a Ferrari, well, if you want to buy a Ferrari, you got to have the big house to go to Ferrari. Please don't buy a Ferrari and live in an apartment building, okay? I don't think that looks good at all. Believe me, I'm laughing and somebody else is laughing with me because people do that. They have this big, fine car and everything is just, and they're living in an apartment building, okay? You know, in the ghetto. No, maybe not the ghetto, but anyway. But that's true. You know, it's like you got to have priorities, okay? And you got to step by step, house, then car, okay? But if you buy a car and you don't have a house, at least don't buy something that's going to be so expensive that, you know, you every 5 minutes you got to go out and make sure it's still there or something like that. Okay, that's basically what I'm saying. So once a person lives with a certain belief, they are going to operate on those beliefs. You got to change your mind, change your mindset. You know, start believing in yourself. That's the song we played on yesterday, that you got to believe in yourself. So in other words, they are going to take action based on those beliefs that they have. But the good news is our actions can dramatically change if our beliefs dramatically change too. All there is to change is belief. In other words, you have to believe that you can do it. So that gives you something else to think about, okay? All right, so now I want to get on to the area that I touched on a little bit on the other day, and I was talking about the things that average people do that prevent them from being successful. And I believe I stopped on when we were talking about patience, because I remember that day specifically because things were going on that was trying my patience to see if I really was patient, but I made it through that day. But I decided I'm going to go back to number one. You know why? Because there's some people that did not hear what I said the other day. So if you find that I am repeating some of the things you already heard, so maybe just listen to it again. All right, so the number one thing was watching too much TV or watching too much television, watching too much the tube. Well, it's fine to watch TV, but it's not good to watch it too much. You know, sometimes, I mean, some people turn it on, and I shouldn't say some people because I used to do it myself, so don't let me point the finger at nobody else, but let me start with me. Okay, I used to turn the television on first thing in the morning and probably wouldn't turn it off till late that night. Well, now, I wouldn't be watching it the whole time, but it would be on. It's kind of like hearing somebody talking, okay? Because usually I probably was at home by myself or something like that. My children were probably gone, whatever. But anyway, basically what it's saying is not to just sit and watch too much TV all day long. It takes too much of your time, and there's no benefit in that. So most of the programs are geared to entertain and not necessarily to educate you. So plus the advertisement can influence you to buy the things that you don't need. We just need to stop. You just reduce that time altogether from watching too much television. Okay, then there was number 2, says playing too much. When you play too much, that means you are spending too much time doing unproductive things. And that playing could be various things. The things that pops up in my mind is a lot of these games that the young people play nowadays, video games and that type of thing, and that is a big thing because we do have a show that comes on at 3 o'clock. It talks about video games, and I mean, they are really into it. Well, I mean, that's okay to do that, but what it's saying, don't spend a whole lot of time doing that. Some people can do that just 24/7 if they could. Take a break. Okay? So it's okay, like I said, to play. In other words, if there's certain things that you like doing that helps you to relieve your stress, that's okay. But just put a limit to it, okay? Reduce the amount of time that you entertain yourself in all the forms and focuses more on doing meaningful work. Another area that we need to discuss is don't be lazy. Too lazy to track your time. Tracking time is boring. Yeah, that's what might maybe say, but you really do need to track your time. But most people forget that it's one of the most beneficial activities that promotes productivity. By tracking your time, you will be more aware of how you use the time. Start early in the morning, first thing in the morning. Matter of fact, get you a little booklet or something that starts the time, like an appointment book. How's that? Because usually the time is already there, starting from 8, 7, whatever time you get up in the morning. But just track your time each day. It's like keeping a daily journal, a daily journal on what you did that day. And that's good to have that because, say, by the end of the week, you've logged all your time in, what have you done, and then you go back and you read what did you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and see how much of that time that you tracked was really productive. What did you do? Okay, and that's I think that's pretty good. Keep track of your time. This will help you to be more cautious of how you spend every second of your life. I would want to know that. I don't write it down, but I can almost remember some of the things I do every day. Okay, let's go to number 4. It says, waking up late or sleeping late into the day. Waking up late means that you have less time to do things. It actually is a hint of being an unproductive person. Most people have the most energy in the morning, but if they aren't awake at that time, what are you doing with that energy? It's in the bed with you, okay? So it's time to get up out of that bed and, start doing something. That's why waking up early is super important if you want to get more things done in a day. There's only, 12 hours in a day? Well, daylight hours, I think daylight starts now maybe about 7 o'clock, 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then by 4:30 or 5, it's starting to get like evening dark. So you got from say 7:30 in the morning till about 5 o'clock in the evening to do some of the things you need to do. don't spend that time sleeping, okay? Now, and I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that because I did the other day and somebody thought I was talking about them. Well, you may not be the only person that does that, okay? All right. So don't take it personal. Number 5 says, relying too much on inspiration and motivation. Moments of inspiration rarely come. If you rely on it too much, you will never get anything done. Not sitting and waiting on somebody to inspire you, sitting and waiting on something to motivate you, okay? If you're doing that, you're definitely not being productive. You are obligated to do what you are meant to do, no matter how inspired you are feeling on a particular day. That's just how life is, okay? Another area, being lazy. Being lazy is a huge barrier for productivity because it doesn't promote action. When you're not doing anything, you're automatically considered an average person. Avoid laziness and stay active. And like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on some of these I've already done because I really want to get down to the rest of them, because right now we're only on number 7, but we have a little ways to go. Number 7 is not acting on your thoughts. All of us do have great ideas and thoughts in our mind. What separates the successful with the average is that successful people act on their thoughts and try to turn their ideas into reality. Don't discount the power of your thoughts and ideas. As long as you believe in them, act on them. I mentioned this the other day. Make that leap of faith. I consider making a leap of faith is jumping out on nothing and landing on something. And so how do you do that? In other words, you may not be able to visually see something in the natural, but in the spirit, you could see it. So in other words, say, I'm just going to jump out there and I'm going to do it. And I know that faith is going to uphold me. Can you believe that? I do. Because I've tried it lots of times. I never knew what was going to be the results. But because I had that belief, I just went ahead and went for it. So you never know if it'll work unless you really try it. So put your faith into action. Faith without works is dead. Number 8 says, assuming too much. Making assumptions about anything is bad if you don't test it. Never, ever settle to an assumption and think that it's a fact. Assumptions need to always be tested because living on assumptions is the same as not living at all. Okay, so I'm not going to assume that we're getting ready to go on a break. I know we're getting ready to go on one. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Support your community by supporting your community radio station, KWDC 93.5 FM. Your donation makes it possible for KWDC to produce and broadcast quality local programming. Send your donations to KWDC Foundation, 5151 Pacific Avenue, Stockton, California, 95207. For more information, visit us online at kwdcradio.org.
KWDC LP Stockton 93.5 FM.
I'm a huge fan of Lapis Lazuli. And you know what? I would say, if I was to judge you, I would say you are probably like Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, or perhaps Opal, who's Pearl and Amethyst fused. So I'm gonna go with Lapis for you.
We gotta try to make sure our laws keep up with technology, and that's nearly impossible. So we'll find that. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of revisions and new laws on the books.
KWDC LP Stockton 93.5 FM.
Right?
I'm with some old guys in here tonight.
Exactly.
I'm only 4 years younger than me.
Right.
Hey.
Hey, I'm 82, man. So yeah, think about that, right?
What's
so
that, Dave? 100?
You know what? You know who predicted that the Cubs would win the World Series this year? Who? Back to the Future.
They did.
Oh, that's right.
If that happens, that movie's. Oh my goodness.
Man, if you don't like the wild card playoff, man, you got to win the division. We were talking about this the other day about why teams in baseball celebrate when they win the division. Because if you win the division, you get in.
I'll bring back Married with Children.
I love that show actually too. I love Al Bundy.
I miss Roseanne.
Devontae Freeman.
I was about to say Devontae Freeman is probably the one name that, and not just because he wiped the floor with me, single-handedly crushed my undefeated season. Because I was playing, of course, Marky Mark. He pretty much just squashed me and killed me so much.
Home of the KWDC Benchwarmers.
Place your hand on your heart. Measure the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how long it takes to protect your child's life. 5 heartbeats. That's how long it takes to learn about the dangers of pesticides that could be found in your child's classroom. Asthma, lower IQ scores, and cancer have all been linked to prolonged exposure to these toxins. But if you knew there were toxin-free alternatives to pesticides, if you knew you had a voice regarding their use, if you knew you could take action that would make your child's classroom safe today, wouldn't you do something? In a heartbeat. Log on to earthshare.org today and find out how you can help. A public service message brought to you by Earthshare and the Ad Council.
You're listening to KWDC Women Innovators Network.
Okay, yes, we are back again, and we were talking about assuming too much. Making assumptions about everything is bad if you don't test it. Never, ever settle to an assumption and think that it's a fact. Assumptions need to be always tested because living on assumption is the same as not living at all. So the other day I thought about when I had read this, I said the word assumption, oh, that's the word assume. We assume that this is going to happen, or we assume that that's going to, we can't base things on assuming, okay? I thought you was going to do that, but obviously you didn't. So assumptions need to always be tested because living on assumptions is not the same. It's not as like living at all. All right, so we're going to move on to number 9. Lacking critical thinking skills. Okay, so most people don't question the things they read. They don't question the things they listen to. They don't question the things they hear. Questioning is important because it helps us to be better critical thinkers. There are too many people out there who are keen on lying and persuading you to their evil cause or their plan. And I mentioned this again the other day, the plan, we're talking about those pyramid plans and those multi-level marketing things that they have out there now. There's one, what's the name of it? Links or something, links, I don't know. 5 links, yeah. You know, some people try to really get me involved in that, and I was like, whoa. I mean, you know, the marketing plan, everything looked good, but I was like, I don't know. This is a little bit too much for me. But like I said, there's people in there making money, but it's usually the ones that's already at the top. Think about it. I ain't gonna say they was lying or trying to well, they did try to persuade me. You know, this showed me where, ooh, Wanda, you could make this amount of money, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, maybe so. But you know what? I'm the type of person, I just want to work for mine. You know, I just want to, like, give me a job. And, you know, hopefully a job that's going to make me enough money that I know at the end of the week or at the end of 2 weeks that I'm going to get a check, okay? Now, these other little multi-level markets, I mean, you really got to get out there and hustle. You got to, and I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not a hustler. I am a hustler as far as that's concerned. I mean, I don't mind doing that, but it's just easier to just get a job, go to work, Or if you have your own business. Now, your own business, you would definitely work hard at doing that, right? To be successful. But anyway, just something to think about. Just be a better critical thinker. Think critically about what it is that you're doing or what it is that you're trying to do. All right? All right, number 10 was having a fixed mindset. When you want to learn something that's difficult, will you give up? Or will you say that the difficulties are caused by your lack of talent and you can't do anything about it? If you say yes, then you have a fixed mindset. Average people have a fixed mindset and they believe that they're stuck with whatever they think they're born with. Don't be like that, okay? Cultivate a growth mindset and do whatever you want in life. No matter how difficult it may be, as long as you put in the effort, you'll surely grow. So in other words, everything is not going to come easy, all right? Life is not easy, period. You have to put the work in. You have to put the time in, And like I said, it may seem difficult at first, but then the more you do it, the better you become at it, all right? So, yeah, we're still talking about things average people do that prevent them from being successful. Lack of patience. I remember that one. Yes, my patience has been tried this week very well, but I think I passed the test. I really didn't shoot nobody or talk bad to anybody. Might got a little heated and upset, but anyway, we're all good. So I'll at least say something about it. Lack of patience is delaying gratification has been discovered to be a strong determinant of success. If you can't delay rewards and see quick fixes, then you might be average. Learn to seek rewards that are huge and take time to achieve and avoid small rewards that aren't worth your time. Well, to me, that may be talking about lack of patience, but I could turn that around a little bit and say that, you're putting a delay on a gratification because you don't have the patience to deal with it, okay? Everything, like I said, we're talking about quick fixes. We live in that microwavable society where we want everything to happen, like, right now. And that's not always the case. And it may not happen like that, okay? So you got to learn how to be patient, take your time, do what you need to do, because in order to be successful, you want it to be right. You don't want just thrown together anything, okay? Because as you throw it together like that, that's how it's going to come out, and it may not last. Number 12, you're not taking notes. You're not writing your ideas down. Average people forget they have limited capacity to memorize things, all right? So, I mean, we have some people that look very good memories. Matter of fact, I look at Deborah Hammer. Man, she just rolls it off of her tongue like it ain't nothing. I'm like, you go, Deborah. She's really good at that. I mean, and she has a good memory. Me, it's okay, but I better write it down, because I'm like, what was that I said? Or what was that I was supposed to do? Okay, but anyway, do that. Make sure you write things down. Even if you do have a good memory, sometimes it's still good to write things down, all right? There are memory techniques that can help us remember things, but they're short-term fixes. Learn to take notes of things that are interesting and insightful. In other words, write down your ideas and be observant of those things that you write down. Carry a notebook with you so you can jot down all of them in one place. You might be driving down the street or whatever. I don't want you to write and drive, but have a notebook handy, so if you need to pull over, what did you need to do? Because sometimes a thought and an idea can come to you, and I know it has happened to me several times. An idea come to me, and I'm like, okay, I know I remember it. And yeah, lo and behold, it's gone. So it's good if you're thinking of something, write it down as soon as you can. If you have to have it, write it on a napkin or write it in the middle of your hand, whatever you have to do. Number 13 says, not listening to others. Most of us love ourselves. We love to talk about us, but rarely do we become interested in others. You already know yourself and you are always with yourself. So why not be more interested in other people? Always talking about yourself won't bring you much benefit, but listening to others can give you interesting insight into yourself and the world around you. So show some interest in other people. Be concerned about what they're doing or what they're trying to do. Maybe you can team up and you can help each other. Okay. So like I said, don't just be so into yourself that you can't see others and what's going on around you. Number 14 says, feel like you're entitled. So why are there so many complainers today? Many people have really strong sense of entitlement. They think that others should do this and that, and if they don't, these complainers would tell that they don't deserve that kind of service. Avoid complaining and speak out your concerns in a respectful way. People don't care about you, and the world also doesn't revolve around you, but they will care if you respect them. Well, see, now I hadn't really read that before, so I might have to go back and do that one again, because beside the fact that we need to quit complaining, because I don't know, it's just something about complainers. People complain about everything, but then they complain, but they don't have no solution to whatever it is they're complaining about. Maybe if we start looking for more solutions, we would do less complaining. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, we're going to move on to number 15. Oh, this is a good one. Talking bad about others behind their back. In other words, that's called gossiping. Gossiping is food for average people. They sit over the dinner table, they sit over a lunch table, they sit over snack table somewhere talking about other people. Don't talk bad about others behind their backs, because that makes you a coward. Do I need to repeat that? That makes you a coward when you sit and you talk about other people behind their back. If you don't like something about someone, you need to talk to that person. Well, that takes a lot of courage. Yeah, it really does. But, it will help you. If it's something that you don't like about somebody, and also you can find a way to do that. You don't just have to be walking up to them and saying, I don't like you or whatever. I might would do something like that, but no, you have to really be very conscientious about people and their feelings, okay? So rather than to sit around and gossip about them, then you need to go to them and talk to them and say, I probably would like to really get along with you and everything, but there's just certain things that I'm not able to tolerate. There's a way to do it. Now, it might hurt the person's feeling, but that's better, because at least the person can improve himself based on your feedback. So, yeah. So we're about to go on another break. I tell you, these breaks are just getting more frequent than anything, but it's okay. It's going to lead us to success. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
KWDC LP Stockton 93.5 FM.
I'm a huge fan of Lapis Lazuli. And you know what? I would say, if I was to judge you, I would say you are probably like Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, or perhaps Opal, who's Pearl and Amethyst fused. So I'm going to go with Lapis fused.
We gotta try to make sure our laws keep up with technology, and that's nearly impossible. So we'll find. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of revisions and new laws on the books.
You're listening to KWDC LP Stockton.
Did you just say giggity? Giggity. That's what I heard. Giggity. All right. By the way, I was told today that if we have a Halloween show, that you and I should go dressed as Yogi Boo Boo. The New Day, which is the trio of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods.
New Day, go away.
No, New Day rocks.
No, New Day sucks.
Home of F and the Fat Man, 93.5 FM.
And we are back. You're listening to the Ryan and Repo Man Show.
I'm here, Repo.
Wait, where's Cooper?
Hello, my friends.
Yeah, what the heck, man? Where's Cooper?
Howdy, folks. I have arrived.
Okay, where is Cooper? I need peace and quiet.
I'm here. Sorry, bro, for being late.
Cooper, can you get your goofball gang out of here? Where the heck were you anyway?
I was on the toilet, bro. I thought you'd let them come in.
And that's what you get for doing your own thing. It backfires on... Dude, it's too early for this.
Cooper, I see what you're doing over there. Where is the bell? The bell? Can you put the bell over here? Okay.
Join the insanity Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. here on the Ryan and Repo Man Show. Only on KWDC LP Stockton 93.5 FM.
Cooper, where are you going? Don't keep me in here with these idiots.
When you have a stroke, you may not even notice it right away. But then, time passes, and the symptoms get worse. 1 minute you feel fine, and the next, your speech could be slurred or not make sense. One side of your body might become numb. You might see double. You drop the TV remote because you can't hold up your arm. That's because after a stroke, every minute you don't get help is another minute that your brain is being starved of oxygen. The warning signs of a stroke include sudden numbness or weakness of the face, arm, or leg, sudden trouble seeing, speaking, or understanding. If you experience any of these warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost. Visit strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4-STROKE today. A public service announcement from the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Listening to KWDC Women Innovators Network.
Yes, and we are back. And guess what? We're at number 16. Number 16 says, too lazy to read books. Yes, we gotta read books, please. It is difficult to find someone who makes reading a daily practice. Reading is a good replacement for the empty entertainment we have today. Learn to read every day and you'll be closer to success. I still have to go back to Miss Deborah Hammer. That lady is a reader, okay? You know, I go with people that I know that's doing stuff, and I could see the results of what they do because I know she loves to read books, and she has a lot of information. She has a lot of knowledge because of the fact that she reads. And I read books, but I don't read like she does, you know. And I have a lot of books, too, and I think they're just on the shelf to look impressive. And people think they walk in there, oh, you read a lot, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, number 17 says, reading passively. You'll still be average if you read passively. If you read only to consume the information and leave it at that, it's a waste of time. So I guess that would identify me. Read to think and act. After reading a book, think about what you read. Summarize it. Share it with your friends. Or do just about anything so as long as you don't let the information go stagnant inside your mind. And that's a good thing to do, a good practice to have, because of the fact when you read something, you need to share it with somebody. So that way when you share it, then you know you got it, okay? So it says to read it, summarize it, share it with your friends, or just do anything, as long as you don't let the information just go stagnant in your mind. All right, number 18 says, don't hate to create. I'm going to repeat that. Don't hate to create. Creating anything takes time and effort. And we know that it's easier to be a consumer than to be a creator. Be a creator. Write a book. Create a podcast. Or record a video. There are many things you can create in this world, and it's a waste of your existence if you don't do at least one of them. That is so ironic that this would come up at a time that my board operator has told me that he does things that he creates, and he said that he's going to have to go back to start doing some of the things that he had been doing. So I think this area that we're talking now would so relate to Dante. I'm going to tell you guys who it is. So that he's going to start developing some of the things. I know, like I said, a long time ago, he used to do some things and bring him into RTV and show us some of his work. But it's been a long time since I've seen anything like that. So I guess in the very near future, we'll be seeing a lot more of his creativity. So that's good for anybody else too. If everybody has some form of creativity in them. So it's good to go ahead and try to develop that, okay? Like I said, you can create a podcast or record a video. Whatever you have to do, create. Number 19 is a lack of strong purpose. Everyone heard about it. You must live with a purpose. But having a purpose is not enough. Your purpose must be strong. To create that strong purpose, you'll need to remind yourself of the purpose every day. If it doesn't make you continue moving, then it's time to find a new one. In other words, you don't just have one purpose in life. You have purposes, all right? It just like being successful. It's not just being successful one time. It's being successful many times. Number 20 says, calling or labeling others as average. No, I'm not calling you an average person. That's up for you to decide. In the end, no one has the right to call others average. No one's average in this world. Their actions are average, but the one doing it are not. So stop looking at others as if you're better than them. You are yourself and they are themselves. Everyone has the potential to succeed as long as they stop doing average things. So that's the 20 reasons why sometimes some of us are not successful. So maybe if you had opportunity to write some of these things down, that's good. If not, you can send us an email. Let us know that you are interested in those 20 things, and I will definitely send you a copy of them. How is that? Yeah, you can send an email to kwdcwin@gmail.com, and that's where you'll reach any one of us that's on the Women's Innovators Network. So we're almost out of time, and I just want to stop and take this time to wish most of you a happy Thanksgiving, because next week we will be on a break, I think, for Thursday and Friday, so we will not be able to wish you a happy Thanksgiving then. And next week we may have a lot of rebroadcast shows because I'm working and other people are doing other things, going to school. So anyway, but next week our shows will probably be more of being thankful about whatever things that we're doing in life. So at the closing of the show today, we're going to play a nice little tune for you, and we want you to be happy for the rest of your life. So remember, this program is made possible by the San Joaquin Delta College, the Delta College Radio, Television Department, the KWDC Foundation, and members of KWDC and listeners like you. Also, our management, Mr. William Story and our station manager. Actually, Mr. Story is our general manager, and our station manager is Governor Don. Our program director is Mr. Mark Ittalong, and our assistant program directors are Annie B. Real, Pistol Pete, production manager Mr. Dante Henry, and operations manager Matt Mackey, traffic and continuity director Sir Taj Bajo. So you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and happy Thanksgiving.